So episode 7, Sword, on the run, recovering from Wanda's Hex expansion, and then Jimmy and Monica escaped the Hex expansion, and they're going to meet Monica's contact, who we didn't know who that was in the last episode.
Who'd you think? When she says, I got a contact, I got somebody who can get me in. I was like, okay, fucking Nightcrawler. I got excited. I'm like, oh shit, who's she going to call?
Oh my God. Like, I have literally a mini list here of who I thought it could be. I was thinking, is it going to be like a Falcon Winter Soldier tie-in kind of thing? Is it going to be Doctor Strange? Is it going to be Captain Marvel?
Too big.
It's going to be Howard the Duck. Like, who's she going to call,
Essentially Heroes podcast is brought to you by Class & Co. co-working space in Brooklyn, New York. Class & Co. has 2 convenient locations, one in Williamsburg, and that is at 260 Ainsley Street, just a few blocks off of the L train. The heart of Williamsburg, beautiful area, co-working space, along with event space as well on the 3rd floor, 260 Ainsley Street. And the second location is just on Manhattan Avenue at 750 Manhattan Avenue. Also, gorgeous space, number of different offices, event space for everyone's co-working or event needs. And if you need any further information, check out classandco.com or call 929-324-7980. Thank you to Class & Co.
Thank you to Class & Co. But it turned out to be one of her mom's friend, Maria's friends.
An army contact.
Yes. Who got her into, I guess, a space rover that's meant for resisting radiation and other types of energy.
It should have been Elon Musk. He could have had that rover.
Yeah.
Monica, I've got a rover for you. Into the fit through the thing.
Yeah, we know Elon is a factor in the MCU, so
that's right.
So that's totally possible.
He knows Tony.
Yeah.
Tony knows him, rather.
But and so they're on their way to try and save Wanda. Inside the Hex, things move up a few years. I mean, not necessarily, because actually. So because I was going to say that Malcolm in the Middle isn't technically a 90s sitcom. It came out in 2000, but I suppose that's supposed to sort of be on like the tail end of that.
Sure.
But yeah, here they take on like the 2000s, or I guess like the
Falcon. It was The Office. Office.
There was The Office, but then it was also like Modern Family as well.
Right.
Like
the opening was yeah.
Right, with like the themes portrayed, and also
breaking the fourth
wall, but also just with like the stuff Wanda was going through was a Modern Family sort of scenario, and which came out in I think 2010 or 12. Like that was like a tens show, if I'm recalling correctly. I believe you're right. I might be totally wrong, but I mean, I don't mind. That's totally fine. But yeah, another episode that I found like legitimately funny because I mean, like I'm a fan of The Office.
Sure.
Like, I got binged over quarantine. Like I'm down with the sauce,
I think I may be corrected on this, but I read recently that The Office is the number one watched or streamed show on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't know what their statistics are, but something along those lines. So it's not just you.
yeah. It was
a huge following.
Yeah, it's become a culture.
Sure.
The Office has become a culture, and sad they're gonna pull it down, but business is business.
Sure.
But yeah, like
2009 Modern Family. Good call.
Okay.
First episode was September 2009.
Okay, so it is. I mean, it is, but it's like runtime is over the 2010s,
right,
I guess. Right. But I mean, it's not that matters. It's totally fine. But like, yeah, the theme song, it reminded me of The Office, like how the song goes, like,
sure.
Like I sensed that in there, yeah. And I think like the actual visuals were from like a different show.
Kids aren't older, by the way.
They're not, yeah. They stopped growing.
That's it.
Yeah.
They've plateaued.
Which is odd because, like, they didn't seem to be real people until the previous episode.
Right.
Which is, like, I'm wondering what's the deal with that. Like, and I think we'll find out more about that, but at first they had, like, this sort of, like, creepy doll person feel to them, and then now they feel like actual people. So I'm wondering how deep they're gonna get into that. But in this episode, like Wanda, she's sort of losing control of her powers, sort of losing her will.
Her grasp.
Yeah, her grasp, and then also just like her general like will, because things are falling apart for her, and she's kind of hit that sort of like pre-divorce like plateau where she's kind of like just trying to keep it together in front of her kids.
Right.
And
apparently in front of the interviewer, the reality show interviewer.
Yeah,
the producer.
Yeah, the producer. Yeah, for the show.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm really. Am I?
Oh man, Pam Beasley. But yeah, so that's what she's going through, and Auntie Agnes comes through to sort of help with the load. And on the other side, Vision finds Darcy.
Yes.
Within the hex, as she's been assimilated, and he frees her, and they get on the road together. Fun fact: I think the guy that she punches is the guy that left her strapped to the Jeep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was a nice little callback to the last episode there.
But by the way, I mean, this is, aside from, so far you've had Monica break free from within the hex, right? Mentally.
Yeah.
You've had Vision do his thing with the Hal, or the guy at his office, rather. This is now I guess really the second time where someone has fully taken, aside from Vision, one of the characters in the hex, broken free and become sane.
Yeah,
that's right. Lucid.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think you can attribute that to, since Darcy wasn't in there for very long, like she's kind of got her stuff together. So Vision, like putting her right, wouldn't have as big of an impact on her as it would Norm, who's been in there for probably quite a while.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Her line was funny. I wanted to be in there, but that sucked.
Yeah.
There was a part of me that wanted to be a character.
Yeah, she was a fan. She was a fan of the show.
Sure. Aren't we all?
We are, like, it's literally the number one show in the world. And so yeah, they go trying to, I guess, find their own answers. Like Vision wants Darcy to help him out, tell him what she knows, and she recounts as much about Vision's past as we know about his past.
Right.
That he is he's an Avenger, that he died, that he's Ultron's wish, more or less, and that basically caught him up on everything to date. And yeah, then they keep running into sort of these Truman Show-esque roadblocks.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great reference.
Yeah,
Yep.
really, really great. And so, after a few, gym moments, he kind of takes off on his own. But it was just really nice to see those two, meet and, and talk and, just, I don't know, just introduce a new energy to like the inside world.
Sure.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. And then, aside from that, Monica, she makes her move trying to break into the hex, which doesn't go the way that they planned. The rover completely unable to pierce it, and she almost dies, but she gives it that last Texas try and goes in face first, and yeah, somehow ends up pushing through, doing like a Captain Marvel moment.
That's right.
And just pushing on through, which I gotta say, like, it's really satisfying, like, sort of seeing like all this stuff sort of like come to fruition, like everything that they set up in that movie. Like they
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, they even play the voice lines. Like they play Nick Fury, they play Captain Marvel's lines. Like it's pretty cool. Like just seeing it all like come into play.
Sure.
Because Fury literally says like, "Oh, if you want to help out Carol, you better learn to glow like her."
That's right.
Yeah, and boom, there we go.
By the way, yet again, an overriding misstep as far as Essential Heroes is concerned. It was our, I believe, Essential Heroes #1, podcast #1, where we started. Yet again, I'm sorry, I need Nick Fury. He started this all right? without sword, without shield. You wouldn't have sword, all right?
Yeah.
They're the Rolling Stones to the Beatles. I'm sorry, you need Nick Fury. Okay,
Yeah.
He's Paul McCartney at this, as far as I'm concerned. Get him back, get him in, do something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to see him somewhere. I want to see him in a room somewhere talking.
He is in a room.
Yeah, definitely.
But a space vacation room.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I
with
mean,
the beach, with the fake beach involved.
he deserves it. He works enough.
No, work fulfills him. Okay.
But so yeah, we finally have the introduction of Spectrum into the MCU, and yeah, as they hinted at in probably episode was it 5 or 6, that they hinted that it was like mutating her cells, like the hex is finally,
the hex is changing her.
Yeah, the hex is finally taken the full effect. And yeah, she officially has begun developing her abilities.
Right.
And yeah, for people who sort of knew who she was from the comics, not a huge surprise. They're just waiting on it to happen. But for people who aren't familiar with her, that it must be like a pretty interesting development, for the most part.
Sure.
Yeah,
But
so
she's
like-
got powers, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they even did it in a similar way in the comics, because in the comics, she also gets her powers by breaking through an energy field.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So like it's pretty cool to like just see it like come like in this modern form, and even like her like pseudo space suit is reminiscent of her like OG comics costume.
And her character's name is Spectrum.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, she has a few names. Like she's gone by Spectrum, Photon, Pulsar, and also Captain Marvel in the comics.
Okay.
So she has a few names, but I think maybe Spectrum is like her more popular one.
These are all very
that she's gone by.
X-Men names. I know she's
Yeah.
in the Avengers comics, I'm assuming. She's
Yeah.
in that line, but it is very reminiscent of X-Men, X-Factor. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like yeah, that is, I'm pretty sure there are some X-Men characters who might share the same name. But so Monica's in the hex, and she's making a beeline for Wanda. And we see that she can now see like energy and like light spectrums and things like that. Which, pretty accurate to the comics, where she can see, create, and also become energy.
Right.
Which is how she can like travel faster than light and, pretty much beat anybody. Like she was going toe to toe with Thanos at one point, or she was supposed to, or something like that. But yeah, she finally makes it to Wanda, and they're sort of like a round 2, where Wanda, very angry that she's made it back in. Yeah, like she's very irate, but so to her surprise and chagrin, she can't quite push Monica around like she used to.
That's right.
And which was very satisfying moments as well, like that somebody's finally here to kind of give Wanda the tough talk, and kind of make her chill out for a second.
Her husband tried.
Well, they were yeah, like I think he was the only one who could probably break through to her like in that way, but I guess since he doesn't have enough of the pieces to sort of do it, then I guess somebody else has to.
Chances are, if she's rewritten his own his mind's conception of his own history, she's also rewritten the fact that or maybe rewritten in Civil War was the moment, right? Isn't that where he's holding her hostage, and then I forgot who comes and gets her? Hawkeye comes and gets her, and then she like shoves him down to like 30 floors into that building or something. She's, I imagine she's rewritten that moment out of his mind's eye as well, so he can't correct it or come up with a weapon.
I'm sure Darcy filled him in.
Yeah,
but so yeah, like we're unsure of how things are gonna go between her and Monica until Agnes shows up to try to kind of like rein her back into where she wants her.
Right.
and she's looking after. She has the kids, and she has Wanda all in the house, and then that's where we get the next big reveal of the episode. Wanda heads down to the basement, the creepy witch basement with all these like strange plants and the strange book and all the hexagons and all that stuff.
It was all like, it wasn't just a hallway. It was leading into this lair.
Yeah, a lair, which is I heard online probably through I hear a lot of details through Screen Crush as well. Shout out to Screen Crush. But that Agnes's lair is outside of Wanda's like powers, because in like once she goes down into Agnes's lair, like the aspect ratio changes.
Interesting.
From 4:3 to widescreen.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, which is the outside world's aspect ratio.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like these details, man.
Nice.
Like, yeah.
All right.
Like, this is visual storytelling at its finest.
Etienne is a filmmaker, folks.
Right. We both are.
That's right. Well, you're catching those technical things I wouldn't catch. So it's nice.
And so yeah, I have a few theories about just the stuff that we see there. But she finally takes off the mask, and we find out that it was Agnes all along. Agnes Harkness. Agatha all along. Agatha Harkness. Which
some people suspected, right? There was some sort of here and there was suspicion that someone inside the hex is doing this.
Yes.
I still don't think it's fully her.
Yeah. Yeah, we still have more to find out.
Sure.
But they were also dropping hints as well that at what we were going to be seeing. So for example, like with just the colors that Agatha would wear, purple, which is very reminiscent of her comic book outfit.
Yes.
And then also on her pants she had the word naughty written out. And also how she was one of the only people that Sword had no information on. Like there's like a number, and then also like when Vision found her, like she was more or less autonomous, whereas everyone else was frozen.
That's right.
And so there's been these like seeds that they planted, all these hints that they showed that she wasn't quite like everyone else. And we see that she also took control of Herb and then possibly other people as well, possibly acting as a sort of moderator for the hex where Wanda was sort of overwhelmed, and kind of making things go the way that she wants them to do, because like she said, it was Agatha all along. That song also has been taking off online as well. Like it's probably going to be number 1 on Spotify pretty soon. Agatha all along. And she killed Sparky.
Yeah, she confesses.
Yeah.
If it's her. Again, if it's, for lack of a better villain pulling the strings, you're saying Mephisto. It could be Mephisto. I was going to go back to Mojo, but certainly could be Mephisto sending her in, right? Or connecting with her. Who's Dormammu, for example? I don't know if there's a connection in the comic books between Dormammu and Harkness, but
perhaps.
Yeah.
I mean, we're leaning more toward. I mean, they rarely reuse a villain, but I think we're also leaning more towards Mephisto because of, I guess, just the like tiny things here and there. Like in episode 2. Yeah, it was episode 2. I think the club leader was like, devil's in the details. And Agnes was like, that's not the only place he is. Just these little details here and there. There's just, and so is she going to be using that book to summon him? Does she work for him? Like, what's the deal? And, and what does she really want out of all of this? And then, from there, Monica finds the basement as well, and Pietro finds her, and Snooper's gonna snoop.
End credit scene.
And that's we finally got an end credit scene. I always check, but this was the first episode that had one.
Sure.
And so I think that like the next episode. I mean, the next episode is like the semi finale, and then episode 9 is gonna be the last episode. But so like stuff is really gonna take off in the next episode, and we're gonna be finding out like just a ton of stuff about what's happening here.
I'm so happy that he's still there. I'm so happy that Quicksilver's a part of this. Yeah. And I want him to call. He needs to be called Quicksilver. I read those comics. I was so excited about X-Men 1 in the 90s. This crazy stuff. All right. I mean, he wasn't in X-Men 1, but in that part. But still, Quicksilver was a massive piece of X-Men history. Right? Yeah. I didn't know it was Pietro. All right. So.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. I mean, everyone is hoping that this is like the beginning of the merge.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm wondering, like, is he friend or foe? That's what I'm wondering at this stage. Because I mean, in terms of like other X-Men stories, he's been both. But yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, is he friend or foe? And then, I guess the last thing that we can cover, I mean, not the last thing, but another thing we can cover about this episode is the commercial.
Yeah,
as well.
I need your take on the commercial. Yep.
Yeah. So, Nexus antidepressants, yes. I believe, is the commercial.
That's the one.
And, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, like, what they're trying to get at with that one. Wanda having to, like, sort of face her depression and reality. Symptoms may include embracing your destiny, all that jazz. But from what I hear, the word nexus itself has like a couple of meanings as well that can be alluded to. One is Wanda being what's called a nexus being, which is sort of like a linchpin in the multiverse. So basically, like, apparently Wanda is like a constant or like the same across multiverses. So,
interesting.
Yeah. So she would be sort of like, if the multiverse is like a wheel, then she's like the like thing in the middle that like holds it on. Not sure like how much they want to do with that, but it does like pull into the multiverse thing. And then also I think there is a thing called a nexus in Marvel, which is like a point where realities intersect. So there's like a few things that you can take out of it, but aside from that, it's pretty much just Wanda sort of coming to terms with everything that's happened to her. That's sort of like what they were getting at there.
I've got a theory.
Okay.
Quicksilver's now here, played by Evan Peters, and they want to connect it. Ultimately, they are going to connect. They own the characters now. The two companies have merged, and you're saying, for example, the Nexus commercial says, embrace your destiny. What is her destiny? Is she, I understand what you're mentioning, that she could be the Nexus. She could be this character that does play out to be the same along multiple dimensions. Or is she going to be, or what she is doing in the hex causing ripple effects across the planet? Maybe she's fucking with the mutants that are out there.
Yeah.
Maybe those mutants are out there, and she's not going to fuck with the brother. Brother's dead anyway, but now he's back all of a sudden.
She didn't do that. That was Agatha.
She didn't do that, but how do we know that Agatha is doing all this? Do we know that Agatha?
Because that's what we saw in Agatha all along, was that she brought Quicksilver over.
Yeah, that's true. Huh,
yeah, and so Wanda not having any knowledge of that sort of
but
corroborates
we know from the comics that Agatha's not the one that causes the House of M.
Yeah,
right?
but
we know how powerful Scarlet Witch is.
But Agatha's the one who taught Scarlet Witch what she knows.
Harkness, this character Harkness. See, I didn't know. I don't know the character.
Yeah, she's Scarlet Witch's teacher in the comics.
Interesting.
And so, I mean, not necessarily that she's more powerful, has more potential, but she knows more than Wanda about her powers. And so, like, what that will end up being, like, will she sort of make Wanda more powerful, or, you know, does she have her own goals? Like, we have yet to find out, but yeah, I think that Agatha definitely knows more about the cosmos than most characters do right now, and so it would make sense that she was the one who's sort of like messing with the multiverse, like, she can't get that brother, but maybe I can get a different one to sort of like, you know, push things along in my direction. And yeah, if she has bigger plans involving Mephisto, then, you know, she probably would, you know, have goal for like cosmic powers. Like, maybe if she trades like this town full of people to Mephisto, she can get greater power. And
who would be the X-Men connects that she would have? If she taught Scarlet Witch, then she'd be connecting to Sebastian Shaw potentially. She'd be connecting to who we've seen played in Dead already, right? Mm-hmm. Magneto clearly is going to be there at some point. Mr. Sinister. I'm trying to think of the big bads that are in the X-Men world that would connect to her.
Probably a lot. Like,
Apocalypse.
I also haven't read too many Scarlet Witch comics, but yeah, I think that since she has what she has access to, I don't think there's really like a limit on what she could potentially do. I think that it's just about what she wants and needs. Right. And so, which is also like what will tie into Doctor Strange 2, I imagine, since we have these 3 magic users here at this point.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Also, I saw this online as well. There was a book missing from the Kamar-Taj library where Doctor Strange was studying. So is this that book?
Ooh.
That was there. Yeah, it is that the level of things that she's dealing with there?
Interesting.
She's the one that stole it. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to with this.
And only 2 more episodes.
Only 2 more episodes, yeah.
What are we gonna do? This is crazy.
And you already know that they're gonna leave it on a cliffhanger as well for like the movies that are coming out. But yeah, like things have like this is the show that everybody wanted. So here it is.
Thank God. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
All right.
Cannot wait for next week.
Yeah. What are we gonna wait till Friday?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, that was episode 6 and 7 of WandaVision. Like we said, we're hyped to see like where this is going, and we're always on the lookout for new references, for new info, for new theories.
That's right.
So
leave us some comments.
Yeah, leave us comments. Hit us up on social media at Essentially Heroes, and yeah, and let us know, you know, what we miss and what we have to look forward to.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. For your reference as well, we are not exclusive to Marvel as much as we do love WandaVision. EK put out a recent reaction video to the Snyder Cut.
Yes.
I've watched it. It is awesome. If you haven't seen it, please do so. Watch the trailer. Watch the reaction video, and we're going to be having some Snyder Cut stuff coming up soon for the DC fans out there.
Yeah, Snyder Cut coming next month.
That's right. That's right. So super, super excited about that.
Yes.
so much cartoons to go back into. So looking forward to it.
Hell yeah.
But yes, WandaVision, folks, stay tuned for episodes 8 and 9. We'll be unpackaging, breaking it down, and analyzing in the weeks to come.
Yes.
Thanks for staying tuned, folks.
Yes, thanks for listening, and have a great day or night.
Enjoy.
Later.